रूप श्री राम कृष्ण, हे प्रेम रूप श्री राम कृष्ण, करुणामय पालय मां, करुणामय पालय मां, हे प्रेम रूप श्री राम कृष्ण, हे प्रेम रूप श्री राम कृष्ण, करुणामय पालय मां, करुणामय पालय मां, हे दीनबन्धु श्री शारदेश, हे दीनबन्धु श्री शारदेश, मम प्राणप्रिय पाहि मां, हे दीनबन्धु श्री शारदेश, मम प्राणप्रिय पाहि मां, हे प्रेम रूप श्री राम कृष्ण, हे प्रेम रूप श्री राम कृष्ण, करुणामय पालय मां, करुणामय पालय मां, हे दीनबन्धु श्री शारदेश, हे दीनबन्धु श्री शारदेश, मम प्राणप्रिय पाहि मां, हे दीनबन्धु श्री शारदेश, मम प्राणप्रिय पाहि मां, हे प्रेम रूप श्री राम कृष्ण, हे प्रेम रूप श्री राम कृष्ण, करुणामय पालय मां, करुणामय पालय मां, हे दीनबन्धु श्री शारदेश, हे दीनबन्धु श्री शारदेश, मम प्राणप्रिय पाहि मां, हे दीनबन्धु श्री शारदेश, हे दीनबन्धु श्री शारदेश, मम प्राणप्रिय पाहि मां, मम प्राणप्रिय पाहि मां, मम प्राणप्रिय पाहि मां, मम प्राणप्रिय पाहि मां। ॐ श्री राम कृष्ण भगवान की जय।
रघुपति राघव राजा राम, अभयम अलकुम सीताराम।
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 सीताराम सीताराम, उल्लम कवरनाय सीताराम।
सीताराम सीताराम, उल्लम कवरंदा सीताराम।
सीताराम सीताराम, उल्लम कवरनाय सीताराम।
सीताराम सीताराम, उल्लम कवरंदा सीताराम।
रघुपति राघव राजा राम, अभयम अलकुम सीताराम।
रघुपति राघव राजा राम, अभयम अलकुम सीताराम।
रघुपति राघव राजा राम, अभयम अलकुम
જલતિલમ રામ નીલતિલમ રામ જલતિલમ રામ નીલતિલમ રામ ઉલગતિલ વ્યાપિકુમ નિયરામ सियावर रामचंद्र की जय। हरि नाम जपीले रे प्रभु नाम भजीले रे तारा जीवन नु कल्याण करीले नाम भजीले रे हरि नाम जपीले रे प्रभु नाम भजीले रे तारा जीवन नु कल्याण करीले नाम भजीले रे हरि नाम जपीले रे हरि हरि बोल हरि हरि बोल मुकुंद माधवा विठाल बोल हरि हरि बोल हरि हरि बोल मुकुंद माधवा विठाल बोल हरि नाम जपीले रे प्रभु नाम भजीले रे तारा जीवन नु कल्याण करीले नाम भजीले रे हरि नाम जपीले रे कया रे गुमान छकी रे गयो चोतो श्री हरि नाम बिना बीजो नहीं कामनो कया रे गुमान छकी रे गयो चोतो श्री हरि नाम बिना बीजो नहीं कामनो काम क्रोध मद मोह छोड़ितो हरि हरि नाम भजीले रे तारा जीवन नो कल्याण करीले नाम भजीले रे हरि नाम जपीले रे प्रभु नाम भजीले रे तारा जीवन नो कल्याण करीले नाम भजीले रे हरि नाम जपीले रे महामोंघ जीवन तारो जशे रे नकामो बात नहीं आवे कशो भूली रे गयो छो तो महामोंघ जीवन तारो जशे रे नकामो साथ नहीं आवे कशो भूली रे गयो छो तो सान में समझाओ गयो मारू मान रे तारा जीवन नो कल्याण करीले नाम भजीले रे हरि नाम जपीले रे प्रभु नाम भजीले रे तारा जीवन नो कल्याण करीले नाम भजीले रे हरि नाम भजीले रे हरि हरि बोल हरि हरि बोल मुकुंद माधव विठल बोल
तेरे अंग में बभूति रहती है, तेरे संग में गौरी रहती है।
तेरे अंग में बभूति रहती है, तेरे संग में गौरी रहती है।
तू शमशान कवासी है, तेरे सिर पर गंगा बहती है। तू शमशान
कवासी है, तेरे सिर पर गंगा बहती है।
तू कैलाश कवासी है, तेरे सिर पर गंगा बहती है।
तू कैलाश कवासी है, तेरे सिर पर गंगा बहती है।
तू शंकर भोला भाला है, तेरे बीच चंद्र उजियाला है।
तो शंकर भोला भाला है, तेरे बीच चंद्र उजियाला है।
तू नंदी सवारी वाला है, तेरे गले में सर्पों की माला है।
तो नंदी सवारी वाला है, तेरे गले में सर्पों की माला है।
तू आशुतोष कहता है, तेरे दिल में दया नित रहती है।
तू आशुतोष कहता है, तेरे दिल में दया नित रहती है।
तेरे अंग में बभूति रहती है, तेरे संग में गौरी रहती है।
तेरे अंग में बभूति रहती है, तेरे संग में गौरी रहती है।
जो दास तुम्हारा होता है, उसका तो प्यारा होता है।
जो दास तुम्हारा होता है, उसका तो प्यारा होता है।
नहीं कोई मिटा सकता उसको, जिसका तू सहारा होता है।
नहीं कोई मिटा सकता उसको, जिसका तू सहारा होता है।
भव पार लगे उसकी नैया, सारी दुनिया यह तो कहती है।
तब पार लगे उसकी नैया, सारी दुनिया यह तो कहती है।
तेरे अंग में भभूति रहती है, तेरे संग में गौरी रहती है।
तेरे अंग में बभूति रहती है, तेरे संग में गौरी रहती है।
तू कैलाश कवासी है, तेरे सिर पर गंगा बहती है।
तू कैलाश कवासी है, तेरे सिर पर गंगा बहती है।
ओम श्री राम कृष्ण भगवान की जय।
ॐ सदाशिवसमारम्भां Shankaracharya-madhyamam Asmadacharya-paryantam Vande Guru-paramparam Shruti-smriti-purananam Alayam Karunalayam Namami Bhagavat-padam Shankaram Loka-shankaram Om Yathagnir-dahika Shaktihi Ramakrishne Sthita Hiya Sarva-vidya-swarupam tam Sharadam Pranamamyaham. Om. More than 25 centuries ago, Lord Buddha attained parinirvana on this day. As we know, this holy day and celebrations are happening at a time when we are still in the middle of war, violence, and tension. It seems that we are not convinced that unless mutual love and non-violence take the place of evil, the world is doomed to further destruction. In this context, the life and teachings of Lord Buddha are of utmost relevance to the present day. In respect of material prosperity and scientific advancements, we have certainly progressed. Unfortunately, in spiritual matters, this has not been the case. During the 7th century, people concentrated on performing Vedic rituals for their own selfish gains rather than to improve spiritually. Lord Buddha incarnated to preach non-violence and to demonstrate how we can transform ourselves by improving our character, thus allowing the divine in us to manifest. The essence of his teachings is the same as in Upanishads or the Bhagavad Gita, but he made it simple and practical for the common man to understand and put into practice. In his code of behavior, Lord Buddha emphasized the necessity of all these values and discussed them from a very practical point of view. Buddha was a rationalist, and reason occupied a high place in his scheme of things. Buddha enjoined on everyone to purify himself in the light of his own reason. To achieve this ideal, he propounded the Eightfold Path, which embodied 8 principles or rules of conduct. In these, there are 5 prohibitions. The first one must refrain from killing any living being. The second, refrain from taking what is not given. This means that one should never steal. The third one is refraining from the misuse of one's senses. The fourth is refrain from wrong speech. One shouldn't lie or gossip about others. The fifth one is refrain from intoxicants that cloud the mind. It means not consuming alcohol or taking drugs, as these obstruct the clarity of thoughts. These 5 rules came to be known as Panchashil. According to Buddha, anyone who remains steadfast in these principles and follows the call of his reason can attain nirvana. These principles of conduct have universal application. Whatever Buddha taught was acquired through experience and tested by actual practice. Therefore, the main characteristic of his teachings lies in its practicality. Buddha made it clear that he was only a guide or teacher, and the duty to follow the path was the choice of the individual. He made it clear that everyone should be a lamp unto himself, so that in the midst of the enveloping darkness, one has to find his way with the lamp of knowledge. Karma has an important place in Buddhism. Buddha believed in the inevitability of karma and the immutability of the chain of cause and effect. According to Buddha, life doesn't start with birth and end with death. Every individual has to go through innumerable lives, and the chain ends only after realizing the truth. Buddha considered greed as the real cause of misery. He believed that if rising above greed by following the rules of good conduct, man could develop the faculty of renouncing, all misery would disappear automatically. The life of Buddha and his love for all beings is an example to all. According to him, violence cannot end violence, but only peace and charity can end the same. The best example of illustration of this dictum was in the life of King Ashoka. After the Kalinga war, he was so distressed that he realized the significance of this truth. Not only did he adopt this in his personal life, but he made it the basis of his state policy as well. There is this incident in the life of Buddha. Buddha was to give a talk one day to his monks and other disciples and noticed that one monk was missing. Buddha inquired about him and was told that this monk was sick and was staying in his room. He asked if anybody was serving him and was told no. Buddha got up, slowly walked to that monk's room, took a towel, put it in water, squeezed it, and washed the monk and rendered other service. When that monk went to sleep, then Buddha came out. All the other monks were waiting for him, but he went away. While he was going away, some monks asked, "Sir, what about the sermon?" He replied, "I rendered that sermon. That's it." Buddha was once asked, "Who is the richest man in the world?" To which he replied, "He who has much satisfaction with what he has is the richest man." To the question who is the poorest, Buddha replied, "He who has many desires." A king who was listening to Buddha's sermons on contentment and renunciation wished to earn the approbation of Buddha. Buddha always kept a rattle drum with him. His disciples once asked him, "Master, why do you always keep this rattle drum by your side?" Buddha replied, "I shall play on this drum the day a person who has made the greatest sacrifice approaches me." Everyone was eager to know who this person would be. Wishing to attain this distinction, the king loaded his elephant with considerable treasure and went to Buddha. He hoped to offer the treasure to Buddha and earn his praise. On the way, an old woman greeted the king and pleaded, "I am hungry. Will you give me some food?" The king took out a pomegranate fruit from his palanquin and gave it to her. The old woman came to Buddha with the fruit. By then, the king had come to Buddha and was eagerly waiting to see when he would sound the rattle drum. For a long time, Buddha did not use it. The king waited. The old woman approached Buddha, staggering on her legs, and offered him the pomegranate fruit. Buddha took it and immediately sounded the little drum. The king asked Buddha, "I offered so much wealth to you, you did not sound the drum, but you rattled it after receiving a small fruit. Is this a great sacrifice?" Buddha replied, "Maharaj, in sacrifice it is not the quantity that counts, it is the quality of sacrifice that matters. It is quite natural for a king to offer gold, but what great sacrifice is made when a hungry old woman offers the pomegranate fruit to the Guru despite her hunger. She did not even care for her own life and gave the fruit. What greater sacrifice can there be? It is not sacrifice to her what is superfluous for you. True sacrifice means giving up what is most dear to you, that which you value most." 3 qualities distinguish man from other animals. They are sympathy, compassion, and renunciation. Teachers have to be lifelong students engaged not in mere study but immersed in practice too. Only a lamp that burns can light other lamps. Buddhists declare, "I take refuge in the Buddha, I take refuge in the Sangha, I take refuge in Dharma." The first is the involvement with the reality in one's own individual self. One must examine oneself, whether he lives according to his innate human reality, whether his mind is free from polluting thoughts and feelings. Buddha is the symbol of the awakened intellect. Is the intellect sharp enough for clear discrimination? This must be one's question to oneself. For even an insane person asks for food when hungry. His intellect is alert for limited purposes, but it has to serve for higher purposes for man. The second stage, refuge in Sangha, just as one yearns for and works towards securing property, welfare and happiness for oneself, one must also yearn for and work towards securing these very things for the Sangha, the society to which one belongs. Without society to guard and guide, the individual is lost as a drop of oil on an expanse of water. One's welfare is based on the welfare of society. The welfare of a particular society is based on the welfare of the country. In the third stage, refuge in Dharma. Dharma means the vesture of the cosmos, that which is its very nature, namely divine love. When one seeks refuge in love that sustains and promotes progress, the individual, the society, and the world becomes a sublime trinity. We are celebrating Buddha Purnima today. What does Purnima, the full moon, signify? It signifies wholeness. When the mind is filled with love, it achieves fullness. We shall try to follow the path laid down by Lord Buddha to light the lamp of love in the heart so that we can escape from the grip of attachment and hatred. Hari Om Tat Sat.
प्रणय पयोधि जले ऋतवानसि वेदं विहितवहितचरित्रमखेदं केशवदीता वीरशरीरा जय जगदीश हरे जय जगदीश हरे
Jagadish Hare
मुखमौलिबलिं रमणीयं केशवधीता रामशरीरा जय जगदीश हरे जय जगदीश हरे जय जगदीश हरे जय जगदीश हरे रहसि वपुषि विषये वसनं जलधामं फलहति भीतिमिलितयमुनाभं केशवधृता हलधर रूपा जय जगदीश हरे जय जगदीश हरे जय जगदीश हरे जय जगदीश हरे निन्दसि यज्ञविधेरः श्रुतिजातं सदय हृदयदर्शितपशुघातं केशवधृता बोधशरीरा जय जगदीश हरे जय जगदीश हरे जय जगदीश हरे जय जगदीश हरे मेच्छनिवहनि धने कलयसि करवालं धूमकेतुमिव किमपि करालं केशवधृता कल्किशरीरा जय जगदीश हरे जय जगदीश हरे जय जगदीश हरे जय जगदीश हरे श्री जयदेव कवेरिदमुदितमुदारं श्रीनु सुखदं शुभदं भवसारं केशवधृता दशविधरूपा जय जगदीश हरे 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 ओम श्री राम कृष्ण भगवान की जय। अनंत रूपिणी अनंत गुणवती अनंत नामिनी देवी जय मां अनंत रूपिणी अनंत गुणवती अनंत नामिनी देवी जय मां शिवाजी मोहिनी विश्वविलासिनी शिवाजी मोहिनी विश्वविलासिनी रामकृष्ण जय दायिनी मां शिवाजी मोहिनी विश्वविलासिनी रामकृष्ण जय दायिनी मां अनंत रूपिणी अनंत गुणवती अनंत नामिनी
Om Namo Narayanaya, dear sisters and brothers. Let us concentrate our minds on the beautiful form of God seated in our hearts. Encouraging us on the path of devotion, Sri Ramakrishna says, "Sing with devotion the hallowed name of the Lord, and the mountain of your afflictions will vanish, just as a mountain of cotton will burn to ashes and disappear if but a spark of fire falls on it." Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti.
ॐ सर्वेषां स्वस्तिर्भवतु, सर्वेषां शान्तिर्भवतु, सर्वेषां पूर्णं भवतु, सर्वेषां मङ्गलं भवतु, सर्वे भवन्तु सुखिनः, सर्वे सन्तु निरामयाः, सर्वे भद्राणि पश्यन्तु, मा कश्चित् दुःखभाग् भवेत्। ॐ पूर्णमदः पूर्णमिदं पूर्णात् पूर्णमुदच्यते, पूर्णस्य पूर्णमादाय पूर्णमेवावशिष्यते। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। हरि ओम तत्सत्। जय श्री गुरु महाराज की जय, महामाय की जय, स्वामी जी महाराज की जय, गंगा मात की जय, महावीर स्वामी जी की जय, सर्व ऋषि मुनियों की जय, पार्वती पतये हर हर महादेव की जय। ओम नमो नारायणाय।